What's going on, pursuers? My name's Thomas Carney. I'm the host of the Pursuit of Calling podcast, where the goal is to provide you with the strategies and tools needed to discover and pursue your God-given calling. In today's episode, I got to sit down with my friend and coaching client, Matt Dambrosia. So he has a lawn care business, and which is honestly, like, you might think, oh, there's so many of those, but he's doing something really cool. He wants to branch out into other services and figure out how he can provide more value to his clients. So that's what we talked about a lot during this episode, or during this session, really, because we recorded this as a coaching session. It wasn't recorded as a podcast episode. So you get to be a fly on the wall to what a coaching session is like with me. Isn't that pretty cool? I think it's pretty cool. So then you get, even though you might have no idea what coaching or life coaching or whatever kind of coaching is, or what it would be like, now you can have a really good idea. So buckle up, sit down, might want to take some notes, and see you in the episode. Okay, so you want to focus solely on the mowing right now?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're focusing on medium, short, long term. So what did that? Whenever I sent that text earlier, what was your first thought about that?
Wait,
like looking into sent a text about focusing on the medium, short term, long term of your lawn care business.
Yeah, that works. Short term, since it's the end of the season, I think gearing up and getting ready of Facebook ads, Google ads, and physical ads, like the lawn sign things. I don't know what to call them. I think that's going to be like me gearing up for spring. So I'll probably deploy those either March or late February, early March, late February. Okay. Just so they're out and I can get eyes on it before the season starts. So like as I'm wrapping up leaf cleanups and everything and like little other projects that people ask me to do,
do you know what kind of eyes, like have you heard advice or like heard other people talk about those lawn? I don't know much about the conversion rate or anything like that of lawn signs and stuff. I mean, they are all over the place, obviously, but do you know, like, good?
I don't know the exact conversion metrics, but definitely from what I'm hearing in different like Facebook groups that I've joined for like people around the US doing this, it seems like it is better than door hangers.
Okay, I mean that makes sense. You get like there's more that gets more eyes on it directly,
like a public place, and then I think
or even
door hangers surrounding the properties you already mow are good and handy because they see your work. So I might like buy a few of those and have them handy. But or maybe like streets of people I mow.
And this is we're talking medium term right now.
Medium term / short term.
Okay.
I think that's more short term because it's gonna be flowing into the season.
Right.
If that makes sense. Because like short term right now, I really can't do much. I'm just still doing jobs and everything.
Right. Well, that's why I was wondering, because if it's short term, my mind is like short term is like what you can do. Like, I mean, it's all things you can do now, but it's like whenever I say short term, medium term, long term, it's like, they're all things you can do right now. It's just like, what is it like directed towards? Is it directed towards short term goal, medium term goal, or long term goal?
I could definitely start like prepping like Facebook ads or whatever, just like seeing how to format them and researching that. Like it might just be my short-term goal might just be researching how to market online as opposed to like pretty straightforward of putting signs in people's yards or like public areas.
Right. Yeah. And I've definitely heard before. I've seen before. I'm pretty sure for like plumbers, stuff like that, where like they do that in clients' yards. They ask if
Right.
they can put a sign in your yard after you're done,
Right.
which is good too. Which I think helps you get into those neighborhoods as well a little bit. I guess on a wider basis, just like the door hangers you're talking about.
Right. I think door hangers are more of like not as big of a priority.
Yeah.
Sorry, if I mute, I'm going to be typing notes. I just don't want you to hear key clicks.
Okay.
And ruin the audio.
That's fair. Okay. So I guess we could have went back and recapped over what we talked about last week first. That's probably what we should have did first anyway. But I know we talked about the Google Ads stuff or like Google listing, not ads, but the Google listing and how that got how that was like failed, it got restricted or something. So do you ever figure that out?
So whenever looking up the number, I could only find that general one, and it didn't seem like whenever you call, it doesn't seem to help and lead to the right place.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like from what I've read on Reddit and like Quora and like a few other online presences, it's like how to communicate with them is appealing it. So I'm not sure what kind of evidence I need to actually provide to appeal it correctly. So I was just confused on that, and that's why I sort of took a step back and was like, maybe I'm being shown to focus on one thing right now. Like maybe God was shutting that door for now
because that was for the decluttering business.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm getting reviews and stuff on my lawn care one, and it honestly just might be God's telling me to step back, slow your roll, focus on this for now. This is the blessing I gave you. Like, I'm sure like there's odd jobs every now and again, but it might just be him showing me to slow down. I'm not sure if that is or not, but I can still put efforts out there, and if something comes to fruition, great. But just like,
well, I think I like your idea of not spreading yourself too thin, and if you want to build one thing and make it bigger, and then I think you've said before, it's not something you want to do forever, but if it's something that you can figure out how to build and then do that again later, using the same kind of, unless you want to keep going with this, but learn how to learn how to build a business, right? With you said you like the service business, so the service like on the ground businesses. So like the things that you're going to learn from doing the lawn care business and growing that and getting that to a point where you have a team, because that is a goal, is like going to translate. Those skills are going to translate to whatever other on the ground business you're going to do.
Right. Like, and I think that also gives you credibility. Like once you scale that up, you can use your brand, if you will, or your name to be like, oh, we're also expanding into this. Right. And not shooting a hypothetical shotgun and being like, oh, whatever hits the target. You know? Right. It seems like I'm not focusing on one thing and learning it.
Mm-hmm. I guess on that note, what would you think right now? Right now, that like maybe I'm trying to formulate this question. So you're setting the decluttering to the side and focusing on lawn care. With a lawn care, like, what do you think you can be improving on the most with that right now?
Right now, like today.
No, well, I guess generally, like based on what you've done already, what are the things that you could be improving on as you move forward?
Yeah. So how I got into it, my buddy was moving to DC, blah, blah, blah. He had some clients. I picked them up and then got a few of my own. So this year, I sort of told myself, this is a testing year. Make sure I like it. Make sure I'm going the right direction. make sure I'm doing the right things. Take it slow for now. So I wanted to take it slow, but also learn everything and how to do it right. And I think I am doing it right and pleasing the customers. I always want them to be informed. I want to communicate well, and I want them to be happy. So I want that, but I also want to provide them great results. I want to sell them the product, if you will, the result. So I think like setting that foundation and making sure ultimately I'm doing it for goodwill and not for just profit. Because I feel like at first I was like, oh, I just want money. But I was realizing graciousness at probably the beginning quarter of it. And that really helped me, slowing down and being gracious and seeing this great opportunity. Back to what I can do now. After going through each season, I realized that spring, very busy, grass grows very quick. Summer slows down a lot. Grass isn't growing as quick. I mean, it fluctuates during the weather and everything, and I think having a weather widget on my calendar helped a lot. Making sure I can balance everything with work, since I am working still, and the mowing, and also communicating. So we did spring, summer, and now we're in fall. Fall is it's growing a little bit, but it's a lot of leaves. And I realized like where we're at, they're going to be flooding the neighbors' lawns. And disposing them and like learning how to handle them really like opened my eyes to like each season of the service. I think I really like the leaf aspect. I think it's really cool. And it's like, I don't know, it's fun. It's satisfying blowing the leaves and everything. And and having those tools and just like seeing the green after the blanket of orange. So I also realized like you don't want to rake that. The reason you're being hired is because you have the tools to do this more efficiently. Like my backpack blower, it makes the job so much quicker. And like realizing what tools I have, how to use them, and I've done like a few cleanups. So this year was a lot of practice. Next year, I want to go hard. I know how many clients I can service. Spring, summer, fall, I know what to be prepared for. It's sort of like I jumped in. I wanted to make sure I had my bearings, and then this coming season, I can really go for it. I'm going to also ask my buddy who sold the company for advice on like grabbing new clients and like what else he would do, what he did to grab more clients, because he originally had a lot more, scaled back because he was taking college courses. But I want to hear some ideas from him since he was in the area. So sorry, that was a huge money trail.
No.
So my focus right now, I think that leaves are super important, and like so many people ask for it. Like it's the most I've ever been asked for something. Yeah, sure, like mowing lawns, but leaves, no one wants to do that. I'm talking like normal residents or even residential and
maybe business,
commercial.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for leaves, I think my backpack blower can do most of it. Eventually, I would get like a stand-on, basically blower. So you ride this thing and it blows it. It's actually pretty cool. Maybe not next season, maybe the season after, maybe next season. We'll see. Next season would be cool, but I think it's too expensive for what I have planned for next season. Or this coming season, rather. So a stand-on blower would be cool because it just throws the leaves really well. And another thing is that we'll touch on later is I'd like to get a truck, hopefully. Like, not something too expensive, but something that can pull a trailer and everything, which would also be hand in hand for a leaf box, which you sort of build it and you get a So you blow all the leaves, and then you suck the leaves up into the box, and then you dispose of the leaves. So that's like the whole idea of the leaf box. You can use the trailer for that too, depending on like how you build it, or you can have like another trailer be a leaf box, blah, blah, blah.
I gotcha.
So I was hoping next year I can still use the leaf box with the blowing, just because mulching and bagging takes a little. If I got the riding lawnmower, I'd have to test how long it would take to mulch that. I don't think it would be horrible, but I'd just have to see. So a leaf box is in the cards possibly next season. I'd like to get a truck, a trailer, and a stand-on mower, which it is expensive, but I'm realizing if I plan it right and I sort of do some jobs now that I can afford these things, because I don't want to take out any loans or anything.
Right.
It's something I want to avoid. I want to build it all like sort of how Dave Ramsey did, where he first took out all these loans. No, I'm not doing this part. He took out all these loans, and then basically the market happened and he lost a lot of it, and then he restarted from scratch without any loans or borrowing or any of that.
Right.
So I'd like to take that aspect where I work hard, I can pay it in full, and it makes sense to buy it, because I just don't want to buy it to be like flashy or whatever. I want it to provide value, save time, either have a better cut so I can charge more or do more, and eventually get stuff for my workers. Eventually.
Do you have I was actually going to ask about that. Do you have a plan to, or a timeline thought of whenever you want to start looking into hiring other people?
I think I want to get the ride-on mower this season around late spring, early summer. And then probably workers the season after.
Okay. So like 2 years.
Not this year, but next, yeah. Because I think I can do it solo. I want to scale solo this year a lot with clients. Taking on like a few other projects like the leaves and just odd jobs,
right,
like mulching and stuff. And then having enough for that stand-on mower, a truck, and a trailer. Because if you think about it, with insurance, the truck and the trailer, if I get a worker the year following, they can work during the day while I'm at work for the time being.
Yeah.
And then I can help them once I'm home.
Right.
Because I still want to work with the person.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
So I'm ideally looking at what year is that then? So 2025 is that I'm hoping is a big year. If God blesses me with that, it should be. I'd like to get, I think I have 11 clients I counted. I want to secure one. I'm sort of in a limbo of a few of them, because I want to secure not a contract, but a deal with them that we can do every few weeks, like bi-weekly. Like the one guy, Jay, he asked for a leaf cleanup. He said, I'll let you know about hiring you for mowing. So I need to reach out to him. I need to solidify not a contract, but a deal with the one lady and older guy next to Terrence, which I'm pretty sure she would happily say yes. I just want to get her on a scheduled routine. I was mowing it, but it wasn't a scheduled routine. I'm going to get her on like a routine, and I think it will help because it's right next to my other property. It won't take any time to drive, pack up, or anything,
Did you tell me? Did we talk about like you keep saying not a contract? Did we talk about why not a contract already? I think we talked about that last time.
I don't know if we talked about it, but I also saw something on. I like diving into this Facebook group because It's people that have experience in it, you know?
Yeah, man.
So some people swear by contracts. I think I would do it for commercial, not for residential, because the contract to me, I don't know if it's not losing trust, but you're sort of losing a personal touch.
Yeah, the way I've done contract, because personally, I've done contracts in the past for coaching, and the way I always put a clause there. Though always the way I like to do it is, and I'm not saying you have to, but there's always like a money back guarantee.
Right.
If you're not satisfied with the service, at least you have in writing and a signature of saying that they're going to pay for the service if it's actually a good service.
Right.
And it just dotting the I's, crossing the T's to make sure that you get what was agreed upon, essentially. And then I'm probably have my old contract somewhere. I'm going to spruce it up a little bit and make it into the further pursuit of calling coaching. But there's, there's always the clause of if I sign somebody up for 6 months, I say you have 3 months by the end of the third month to decide whether if you think by the end of the third month you're not getting any value, then you get all your money back. Right. And like for you, it could potentially be if I finish and you're not like you hear it all the time. If you're not satisfied with your service, you get your money back, guaranteed 100% money back. And people couldn't you could think people can't take advantage of that, but I generally think you can have more trust in people usually. Right. Somebody every now and then might be like, I don't like it, because I don't like it, and then and then you follow the contract and well, if you tell me you don't like it, I'm going to give you your money back and just move on, because that's what the contract said, and you be the person of integrity with it. But there's it's just you lock them into a certain time frame essentially, and you say and maybe, and I don't know, again, I've only done it with an online service, online service coaching. So right. When you're on the ground, and you can still do it digitally with if digitally or on paper, depending on the client probably. But there's definitely benefit to it. I wouldn't do personally. For coaching, I wouldn't do it without a contract. As for paid.
Right. Yeah.
Because especially because most of the people are could be in different states, could be right now I'll probably stick with the US, but could be in different states and eventually different countries, and so I don't necessarily know who they are. So it's just a great way to cover all the bases. I was kept wanting to say cover my butt, but I'm not trying to do anything. So so that's my 2 cents on contracts, because I know that you just kept saying that a lot, but I think there probably are pros and cons. You say you maybe lose I don't know if you necessarily lose a personal touch if you to say talk with them about, and you give them we talked about before, every 7th mow is free, and that's in the contract. Then they know that's guaranteed to them. Right. That you can't go back on that because because they signed it. Maybe you have something more on it. You sign it, and then you can't go back on that either because it's written on there on a contract. And you can always be I think my brain works in the sense of but technically anybody can do whatever they could just still try to fight it. And I don't know. Whenever I told you, but when I was lost $4,000, and the whole the biggest reason, I don't know if it's the only reason, but the biggest reason that I understood that I got my money back, because they didn't have me sign anything, and that was and if they would have, maybe it would have been hard. I don't know that for a fact, but it seems like it would have been harder if I would have put my signature on something. If they would have sent me a DocuSign or something like that. DocuSign is probably the easiest thing to do, but it is a paid service, so you can always just print something off and have them sign it in person. But it's probably other ways to do it too for free. But yeah, like you put everything you're going to do for them, and then all the clauses and things that do cover the bases. But it's not just like so they pay, but it's also so that they can see a guarantee of service. Essentially, that's how I've seen it.
I gotcha. I don't know. I'd have to look more into it and who does it versus who doesn't in their reasonings for like my specific lawn care stuff. Because I've definitely seen posts where it's like, oh, we do contracts, but then other people are like, we don't do contracts.
And you're not sure why yet?
No, I like saw a post and I was like curious on what other people do. But like a contract's just another thing to sign, and I don't want to scare people off. So I want to see like what would cause someone to have them be scared off.
Yeah, then maybe that could be one of the things for homework. Just do more research on that and see and if you decide not to, then that's fine. If you I'm not going to be mad about it, obviously. But there's and if you think if you decide to do it, that's fine. If not, that's good too. And if you decide just to do it for commercial, I mean that makes a lot. If you doing it for commercial does obviously makes a ton of sense. But yeah, because like that you can even lock in probably for longer and for more money. So because they have more money. But I don't know if that's good or bad to say, but but I think it's fine because they're a business and you're giving them probably saving them a decent amount of money too. Oh, I don't know about that. Sorry, I'm
have to hire someone to do it. Yeah.
Well, they're hiring you to do it, but they don't have to hire any
internal.
Anybody internal to work for them, or their maintenance people can do other things, and if they have maintenance people, yeah. Because I don't know, for people that own even people that own apartment buildings, like Holiday Park have their own people that mow the grass, but like I don't know if they work for Holiday Park or if they're like contracted or not. I mean, they definitely could be contracted, but like people that have just real estate, like probably a cool option too.
Reaching out to like property managers, or property management companies, I think could be a cool idea too. I think I'd like to reach out after I get a nice standing mower.
That's for sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I say that's for sure, but I trust you on it.
Right. I think the quality of the cut goes up, and like it really shows. Like you can see a difference. I think.
I gotcha.
I think like most people could tell the difference too.
So I'm just going to run through. So short term is more of the signs, but it's also, I think, short term is also continuing on with like you said, you've learned that you can do other services more than just lawn care, like throughout all the seasons. Right. And just a general question, you said. Well, let me run through other things first. There's the doing the short term, medium term was kind of the I think that's more the signs, unless you do the signs for the leaves as well. There's definitely, I think that's definitely, a shorter season, but could do signs. But that's But then there's long term, and you said that's just improving your equipment and getting ready to hire people. And you're saying like you obviously you want to make sure you can hire when you hire people, you have tools for them to use so you can work alongside them. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
I've even seen two men people where one is running the weed whacker while the other one's mowing. So even if like that's happening while we save up for a second mower, like a second stand on. But yeah.
So So,
Sorry,
trying
I
to
rated
what?
your concentration.
No, you're good. I was going to say something before, but I wanted to make sure I stayed on the original train of thought. Okay. Oh yeah, this was just out of curiosity. You said during the summer, which makes sense. The grass doesn't grow as fast. So
Right.
like, are there other things that you can do during that season to supplement that income?
I'd have to look because
Hmm.
I didn't know what to expect, and I never really like was like, what could I do during this time? Some people let it go. Like some people just are like, oh, okay, it's not growing right now, and take that time to relax, let their body recover. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know if there's overseeding or any like actual stuff I can do because I know like some people will plug for aeration. I don't know when that is. I need to like research more about it
I
and
don't
like
know that
general
is.
like lawn care.
Yeah.
But I think that's just as I grow in it, you know,
Yeah.
and I learn more because like a few people have told me that eventually I should look into how to make those. Well, this is sort of a thought, and also like some people were like, "Oh, when are you gonna do blah blah blah?" But like making a lawn where I can improve it to the point of no weeds in the grass, having sort of like a luxury looking lawn, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be certain clients for that. There's going to be certain clients for that and certain clients for just lawn mowing. Like
Yeah.
the
Like
preservation
detail
of that.
work.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That makes sense. I like the idea also. Like there's this is kind of on topic, kind of off topic, but like I think there's a um like we talked about, like the seventh mode is free, but then there's, I believe there's also people there that sometimes, like you said, you've done launch for free before, but then
Right,
there's also people that would just do like the quick, like the side, like, hey, I can't like just do your sidewalk for free,
right.
and like the edge your sidewalk or whatever, and make it look really nice and clean it up and show you, and like just show you that I know what, and then like they say yeah, then they see that you know what you're doing and see if they're good for you to do the rest. Um, but the I don't know. That's I just see that on social media a lot, right? You just see people like I really like those videos, honestly. Whenever like pressure washing, those are so fun. Those are so fun. The pressure washing
Yeah.
videos are so satisfying. Um, they really are. Um, have you ever thought about pressure washing? That's just a random thought, but
See, I was totally against it at first, but now
mhm.
as I keep mowing people's lawns and I'm like doing the sidewalks and everything, making sure they're clean.
Yeah.
Like some clients I'm not even edging, I'm just like string trimming and like making sure it's not over impeding on the sidewalk, but like you can tell the buildup and how they need pressure washed.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
So like it's very it's a very possible thing that I could expand into.
Because like, yeah, and
Because
that's
if
just one
there's,
way you could. Good.
I was gonna say, if they're paying for their lawn to look nice, they
Hmm.
obviously want other exterior things to look nice.
Right. And like that could be a good way to supplement the income during the summer.
Yeah,
Also,
that's very true. I didn't
and
think of
like
that.
yeah.
That might be good in the summer.
Hmm.
Eventually, I wanna
Right.
focus first, but
Yeah. Yeah. Hone in on what. Yeah. Hone in and get. Yeah. You know, you want to get really good at these few things first.
hmm
And I have you thought about the winter at all?
the winter, I told my clients I'll do snow removal. Just text me because I
Hmm.
have an attachment for my motorhead, which is
Right.
basically a snow thrower.
Yeah.
So I'd definitely do that, and like some portions I would shovel if it's like gravel or something, you know. But
Hmm.
I think I could use the snow thrower for everything. The attachment,
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So I want to focus on the next season in the winter. That's what I see a lot of people do. They focus on that next season, what they're going to improve on, and having those goals and everything set, but also being available for the snow.
Right.
And obviously, I'm not doing like huge commercial things with a truck with a plow and everything, you know.
That makes sense. So I'm going to shift gears a little bit because I'm not sure. I'm supposed to do something in a few, but I'm not sure when. But I'm going to shift gears, and I just had a thought of like this is going to be more introspective, like more of like the mindfulness stuff, like we've done. Well, not really, I guess mindfulness, but also like I don't know. But it's like more of a not really meditation either. It's just like kind of focusing on what this, like you said, like you wanted to make sure that you're doing this for the right reasons, and now that you believe you're doing it for by helping others, yeah, like that's why you're doing it. You want to help and serve and make people's lawns look nice because it's a nice thing to do. It's something they want done. And it's not just for the income, even though that is a piece of it. But there's so I'm curious. Cause I just got like a thought, a vision in my head of like just a happy just a generally happy person, a happy customer. Like how do you feel generally whenever somebody like is just really happy with the work? Have you ever had somebody just like really satisfied, like over the top?
I think so, yeah. And I feel like guilty taking their money sometimes, you know, like you're like,
yeah,
oh my, like they're just so kind, I guess.
yeah.
They're like, I can't believe you did this for me.
Hmm.
You know, I don't know, just like the servant heart gets to you, and you're like, how can I be taking their money, but also realizing that you're a business,
right?
And that it's fine to take money, but like not extort them, you know.
Right. It's not like not taking more than, not asking for more than what the service is worth.
Right.
And then you're like, how do you decide what service is worth? But there's discussions around that too. But there's but how does that make you feel? They make you feel guilty, but how does it, like, whenever you see their initial reaction, how, like, is that, do you only feel guilt?
No, I definitely don't only feel guilt. Like I feel like it's like whenever you get reassuring words, you know, like you feel good, like you know you worked hard, and they see it too. It's like a happy parent sort of thing. Like you worked hard towards it, you put that time and effort towards it, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, this looks great."
Yeah.
And I want that to be pretty much everyone. I want everyone to, like, some people don't, they don't show that, like, their emotions super animated, I guess. Some people don't show them as much. And, like, the people that don't show them as much, you can tell by, like, how they look at it, or how they text you, or how they say something, that you just know that they're satisfied with it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like,
No, it does.
There's like the very animated people that you know that they're overjoyed, they're not faking it or anything, but there's also the reserved people that I guess don't show their emotions as much, and you can tell that they're like, oh, that's a weight off my shoulders that I don't have to do, and it looks good, you know.
Yeah, I think that's generally, like, whenever you're thinking at each of these services that you're doing them, like you said, out of the servant heart.
Right.
And I think that's like we've been talking about that a lot of this time. Like, what are the services that you can be doing throughout each season? that, and it's part of it is to supplement the income, like we were talking about, but it's also like, what else do these people? What is the next thing that this person needs?
Right.
What is the next? What is the next thing? Like, what's the next thing? Like next thing after like fall, winter, and what do they need in the winter? And like you said, like you're going to do the snow removal, and then what's the next thing after? What's it when winter? It's spring, but then even during that, but then you can even break it down even smaller, right? You can be like, what's after snow removal? Is there what's next after that? Is there something next? Like, maybe the answer is maybe there is no, but I feel like there's always usually something that could be next in that same realm, like just like with during the summer. What's the next thing that that could honestly be any time of year, but the next thing during the summer, after the grass cut, the next thing after the grass cut, like I'm sure you're already picking up the grass and making sure it actually picking up grass and taking it away, or whatever you do with it. But then there's pressure washing. But then after pressure washing, what's the next thing? It's like usually, like a lot of the time, like with my coaching, I'm working on a value ladder right now. And I was writing out concepts the other day when I was working. I was working, but I was also like my entrepreneurial mind was running. But there was but just building out the value ladder of like, I have to discover your calling, and then the next thing I want to make it like a $20 form that's pretty much going to be the same length, but it's going to be a $20 form for pursue your calling. But it's going to be do it by yourself, and then there's going to be another option, and then like there's going to be like maybe one eventually where you can do it with others, do one session with me, in a particular format, like do it with me looking over your shoulder as you create your make your pursuit plan, and then there's like do it with me, directly do it with me on the coaching track. And each one, like, what's the next thing after after you discover they want to pursue? After you pursue, like a lot of people want to be held accountable. If they're actually serious, and there's other things in between there, they can break it down. Like, what's the next thing? But like the thought is like, what is the next thing that you can build on? What can you build on top of what you already did? And like, it's called the value ladder because I'm sure you've heard that term, but like you're starting with free, then you go to your the $20 thing, then something maybe for like $50 a month, and then you can keep going up, and there's not really a ceiling there. And for you, I mean, I think generally like it's like the same concept is there, but like maybe these things are more like how could you could even package these things in that way, right? You could make package deals of like lawn care, but then you could package lawn care with pressure washing.
Right.
How do you want to add that? How do you create that value ladder? And like and it's also it's value financially, but it's also like how much value you're giving. And it's I like the concept that Russell Brunson uses. It's everything that you sell should be providing 10x the value that you're charging for it.
Right.
And he's probably not the first person to say that. I think he learned it from somebody else, but I heard it from him. But there was that's a lot of food for thought. But like, I want you to like kind of think about like what, just even if it's like things that you're never going to do, like what are the things that you could possibly be doing to possibly be doing for these clients, because now you've seen them, you've been on the ground, you know the things that they need done. But that's like, what are the things that you're noticing that most people would benefit from?
Mm-hmm. And I think I've been a little exposed to this, where it's like my clients will ask, "Oh, can you help me with this landscaping project?" Like, my one client wants me to help with pavers to put around their bird feeder, like different block and things. And I think like maybe expanding into landscaping a little and learning that a little more too would definitely help.
That'd be pretty cool.
And that could honestly be in the summer. Like I know it's hot and everything, but like as the grass isn't growing as fast, having that there, if not like with pressure washing or like even with the winter, I think this is where the decluttering thing came in, is how do I fill that gap? I know that maybe this isn't where God wants me right now and doing that, but like I can still research it. I can still help people for free if they have something.
Right.
But definitely the value ladder would be really cool in the sense where I could do a spring cleaning. So it would be decluttering a certain part of your house, pressure washing, and like a first cut of the season. Like bundling something like that, like even a bundle type system. That would be pretty cool too.
Yeah, man, that'd be awesome. And especially
You
like
bundle it as that spring cleaning, and everyone knows what spring cleaning is, you know?
Right. Yeah. That's actually that's a really good point. Yeah, you don't want to name it something that no one has any idea what it is. Like my original podcast. Even though it was a lot of fun.
I was about to wear that shirt today.
Oh, you should have. I should just text everybody that has technically short merch and just have everybody wear it on like the same Sunday.
That'd be sweet.
And then everyone's like, "What's this? Why is everybody wearing this stuff?" I'm like, "Well, just Thomas has a podcast." And I get the whole church to listen to my podcast. Okay, now that technically short isn't like a thing anymore. No one wears the merch anymore besides me. So I'm like, man, I want to get more merch going, but I don't know if I'm. It's like that's my thing of spreading myself too thin.
Right.
I'd have to probably hire somebody to help me out with that, or just wait till I actually have the time. But the hiring somebody would be nice too, though. But all right, man. So for next session, which we're sticking with 2 weeks?
Yeah, we can do next time on Sunday. This week, I was hoping to, because long story short, I was going to take on a project on Sunday. I'm going to do some of it tomorrow and then some Sunday. That's a long story short.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so we'll do 2 Sundays from now. I'm trying to get my calendar to come up, but it's not. Oh, wait. I know. Wait, I already have it up over here. So bring up the month view. And so that would be, that's the 23rd. Okay. Oh, no, that's the 24th. And then Thanksgiving is the 28th. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why that's not showing up on my calendar, but I know it's there. Okay, yeah, that should be fine. That should work well.
Wait.
What?
So I wanted to look at my calendar too. I have Thanksgiving with my grandparents that day. Could we do later in the day?
Yeah.
Because that's usually like after church until 4 or 5, and then I'd drive home.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure it's good with you.
Yeah. I'm just writing something down real quick.
I was actually pretty excited about this job because like it's going to be like one of those transformation jobs, because it is not pretty. So I'm excited for it because I get to trim some trees / bushes down, do some leaf removal, and then cut the grass. It will be a lot though. So that's why I wanted to block off like a Sunday so I can work straight through it, as the sun is not on my side whenever I get home from work.
Yeah, fair. Okay. So for next time, we're saying you're looking into the contract, but you're going to start looking into different concepts that you could possibly be adding into like a value ladder type deal.
So we want to do the value ladder stuff. And then I was also going to probably draft up either signs.
Okay.
And see, I can like bring them to next time and see how you think they look.
Yeah.
Advertising like yard signs.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can do value ladder stuff and also contracts and see like the pros and cons, what people do in the industry.
Sounds good to me.
And like, there's always something you can improve on in the industry. Like if everyone doesn't do it, it might not be for me, but there also could be a crack or somewhere, a foothold where maybe it is good for me and maybe I can turn around like contracts, you know, like making it fun. Something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think that is everything. Yeah, make sure. Well, actually, one last question. This is something I just thought of since I think it's popped in my head because we're doing it over a video. I wanted to ask you. This is a question I would ask all my past coaching clients, and I'm really happy it actually popped in my head just now because it's something my coach would ask me, and that's why I was asking my clients. From our session today, what would you say your top 3 takeaways would be?
Top 3 takeaways. I think the short, medium, long, that's probably 3 because it sort of expands your view. Yes, you want to get this done for next time, this done for next time. And then you have the medium where it's like you're going to implement it in a few months. But then you have the more longer term where it's like, this is my vision. This is what's going to happen if God allows. And I'm not going to rank them. That's one of the takeaways. Did you want me to rank them?
No.
Okay. Another one of the takeaways, I think I really liked the idea of... I sort of thought about it a little, but you fleshing it out and like, what services could I provide to help others in the seasons where something may be slower and the bundling of things. I thought that was another good takeaway. And then my last one, let me think. I don't know. I really like the value ladder type thing.
Yeah.
I think that's like a good thing to do.
And what that is generally is, it's like because that's how you gain trust with your clients. You start off with a lower tier, not as expensive service or product, and then you go and offer something more expensive. Because something more expensive, they get more value out of it, and they trust you. So that, so that's not like you're some Joe Schmo off the street trying to charge them like buco bucks for this service that they have no idea who you are. And so like that, but if they already know you, they have paid for your cheaper services before. They can then know that they can trust you again with something more expensive.
Right. Yep.
And that just keeps going up the ladder.
Another thing with that is like they know you'll provide if you're paying them this up front or after, whatever you do, knowing that that they'll provide. I know my last takeaway. I think my last takeaway is I like what you said about in the contract, the whole thing of what I said of being fearful of them being fearful of signing something else. But I liked where you said adding the 7th Mo's free thing. Yes, you'll have the punch card, but having that in there, it's an incentive for them to sign it. They're gaining something from the contract. It's not just like, oh, I have to sign this thing and not sell my soul, but it's like, what am I even getting out of this? As the client, what am I getting out of signing the contract? Sort of having that reassurance in the contract, which I liked. and that's what I want to like research more about the contract and everything, because it might be a good idea.
It doesn't have to be this big legalese contract either. Like you
Right,
can like
it could be
yeah,
something
so like
basic.
something that can actually like read through in like a few minutes. And there's no like there's no mini font somewhere and hiding a clause that they have to pay you like triple the amount if they don't do whatever.
Right.
So yeah. Yeah. So well, those are good takeaways. I'm happy you were able to get some value today.
I think sometimes I just have to like think and reflect. So that's why it took my last one a little bit.
No, you're good, man. You're good. Well, man, I appreciate it. Or talk later. I don't know. See ya.
See ya.